Hi, my name is Ingrid Marsh and I'm the founder of Women with Voices. And the purpose of this video really is just to share with you why I started this platform, or this hub, so to speak, where women can just safely come along, feel connected with other women, feel empowered by other women, and safely come along, find their voice, sort of unbuckle the shackles that's preventing them from being who they are, their creative self, and a hub where they could unbuckle this constant need of trying to be perfect, of constantly comparing themselves to other people, and a hub where they could just be true to who they are. And that's what I mean about finding your voice, finding you. And I remember just sort of meeting someone once and having a chat with them, and them saying to me, oh yeah, you have a voice, I don't have one. And that stuck with me for a long time. I said, well, you do have a voice. Everybody has a voice. But it depends on how comfortable you are and how confident you are with that voice. And the next thing we do is then, once we help you to find your voice, we then help you to express that voice, that said unique, awesome voice that you have, to express that compellingly. Now, I don't like to call myself a public speaking company. I more refer to Women with Voices as an alternative public speaking company, because my methodology is that it comes from here first. It comes from inside of you. It comes from your belly. And we go this way, okay? We take you, and it's you expressing yourself. And public speaking is just one of the many ways that you express who you are. So it's not public speaking in the normal sense, because I know that most public speaking courses kind of deal with structure and beginning, middle and end, that kind of thing. And we certainly do that, but I focus on that last. First and foremost, I work on rebuilding that confidence in you and that confidence in who you are. But don't beat yourself up. The reason that we struggle with being ourselves is because the world is set up at the moment that we've got these unrealistic expectations of beauty, of perfectionism, that's just being thrown at us everywhere. And we do have as one of our needs, above food and shelter and that kind of thing, just above that, there is a sense that we want to belong. We do want to belong. And we actually feel, by concealing who we really are and putting this paper bag over our head that says perfect, we feel that's all how people will connect with us. But it's not. It's the reverse that is true. If you think about any of the great leaders that you admire, may that be at work or on TV, it's because you can connect with who they are. And we're living in a really weird era at the moment where it's information overload. I'm not sure what your phone is like, but my phone, from first thing in the morning until night, it doesn't stop beeping. It's like an orchestra. It doesn't stop. And that's my phone, that's my laptop. And within seconds, there's like 30 pages open up, more information. You see, more than ever before, people want to connect. Your customers, your audience, what have you, they want to connect with you on a human level. And that's why we go this way. We go this way and we go out. And however, we do appreciate that in itself is a process. So learn to speak in public is an art form. It's not speaking like I'm speaking to you now. And I think that's what causes half the problem. That people feel it's like speaking to us across the table, and it isn't. It's an art form that you have to learn. So when women say to me, oh, I'm terrified of public speaking, I have a fear of public speaking, well, I think, well, yes, you will do. If you've only done something once or twice, if you've only learned towards an art form, you've only had 2 sessions, then you will be fearful at it. You haven't learned the art. It's an arc like this. And I should go the other way, shouldn't I? It's an arc like this, and you're literally at the beginning of the arc of that learning curve to get to that compelling speaker. So, I mean, you've only got to, look at the press or look at it anywhere you go. You keep hearing that public speaking is cited as the world's #1 fear. But if you Google public speaking courses, there's no shortage of them. So, I mean, my math isn't great, but to me, there's something not quite right with the statistics. There's lots of people solving it, but lots of people who still have the problem. So, like I said, mine is an alternative method. It comes from the inside out. And really, at the beginning, it's focused on rebuilding you inside and making you comfortable with taking off that straitjacket. And although we're teaching public speaking, communication skills, and what have you during that process, at the beginning, I'm not expecting anything great because I've got to get you out of your jacket. But then the magic happens, and it's awesome, and you will get there. I can confidently say it doesn't fail. It can't fail because it's based on science. Also, this is how we learn something new. And so I started Women with Voices because I've always loved public speaking. I learned it. I put in the hours. Indeed, I sort of combine it with NLP now so I can speed up that process. But I was always bemused. I think I've always seen things differently to everyone else. I do. I think I've been a bit of an odd boy most of my life. And I could just see things differently to how the rest of the world saw it. So I never got this fear of public speaking thing. In fact, my view is don't feed the monkey. It's like saying, like for me anyways, like saying I don't want to eat cake. I have sweet tooth, which will make Augustus Gloop in Charlie the Chocolate Factory seem like a nice kid. I have such a sweet tooth. And whenever I think to myself, right, Ingrid, avoid cake, don't eat cake, the cake becomes bigger and brighter in my mind. So when I hear women say things like, I want to be a fearless public speaker, that's not an aim. You want to be a compelling public speaker. It's a forward motion. A potter who's once again is an art form, his or her aim is not to be, I don't want to be a crack potter. The aim is to be a great potter, to be a great poet, to be a great writer, to be a great sculptor. It's a forward motion. So we provide safe hubs for you to do that because there's also not the opportunity for you to get to practice. So I create these really lovely hubs which I just adore. All the women there are so lovely and supporting each other and putting rods in each other's back. And everyone's at different stages. Some people are coming there and doing the whole public speaking thing and haven't got to the stage yet where they can do themselves. But of course they get inspired when they do, because the moment they do, maybe to hit a bit of who they are, they feel the energy in the room light up. The only way to be a compelling speaker is to bring yourself to the stage. But it's so liberating. I've had women say to me, it's changed their lives. So, and so my thing is that, yes, there is the gender bias thing that's happening out there, but there's also the issue where we're not out there, our voice is not out there publicly speaking and sharing our views and all the rest of it, because we don't have the confidence to do it. And I think a lot of that is just not being addressed. We actually don't have the confidence to do it. And because of that, we have, just maybe men impacting issues that impact us. Now, this is not an anti-man campaign. Gosh, no. The moment you do anything like that, two wrongs don't make a right. And you've got to take responsibility for your confidence issues. If you take responsibility, you can start doing something about it. But it's not an anti-man campaign. But if we only have men sort of talking about issues that really impact us, we don't have another viewpoint. I'm very much into getting as much views on the table as possible, because then you can kind of come up with an answer. So our views on issues that impact us, there's not enough of our voices sort of impacting that, or sort of being put into the pot to come up with decisions. And the other reason I started Women with Voices is because from a really young age, I was inspired by Oprah. She was someone who I could relate to. She looked like me, and she made me realize that it was possible. I had a role model, And I do that with my son now. I take him to places where he can see people like himself that he can aspire to and know that it's possible. We're visual creatures. We have to see it to believe it. And if there aren't enough women out there, then it's going to impact our future generations. More and more now, our children are thinking that they're nothing more than their bodies. That's it. That's what it takes to be somebody. Your body. They're dieting unnecessarily and self-harm and doing all sorts of crazy things because it's kind of out there that they're nothing more than their bodies. But if they see women in these environments, in tech, as leaders, as head of great institutions out there speaking, it gives them a choice and it gives them another possibility. So I'd like you to join me on my mission. I say to people we're a movement first before we're a business, because I make sure that it's affordable to everyone. But I want you to help me in our mission on getting our voices out there. It starts with a step, and I don't want to make it sound all wishy-washy, but it really does. And some magnificent things have happened to women who have started this, and women who are, making themselves small and speaking tiny, and bit by bit, they built up their strength from the inside first. And then the magic happened. And every time it happens, I had a situation just yesterday. When it happens, it still makes me feel emotional when you see someone just not believing in themselves and squashing themselves up into a tiny little box. And for me, I always get touched by it because they believed in me and they hang on in there. They hung on in there. And when you see that every time, it just makes everything worthwhile. It makes all the sleepless nights. It makes all the hard work. It makes it all worthwhile. There's nothing more fulfilling than finding you.